We heard from Nebraska's coordinators and players here on Tuesday as the Huskers prepare for an 11 a.m. game against Houston Christian. And first and foremost, offensive coordinator Dana Holgorsen broke down what he saw from his offense and what he wants to see now moving forward.
We were in phase from the beginning. Drive one, we moved it down, scored. Drive two, we moved it down, fumbled on the one. Unfortunate. Can't ever happen. Drive three, we moved it down and stalled out on the one, right? So I wasn't getting in rhythm. I mean, those two specific drives were, were just ugly finish, right? So the rhythm was there. We just didn't finish those drives. The fourth drive was irritating. That's when we stalled. Okay, that's when we stalled. And Ja'Cory had the punt return to the 20. That's like a sudden change. I mean, we should treat that like a sudden change. Go out there with urgency and execute. And then we just went out there and 3 plays in a row we didn't execute. That was irritating. That was the most frustrating thing of the whole night. And so got to do a better job. I thought the rhythm was there. It's just those situations it's unexcusable not to be successful in those situations. Sudden change or finishing in the low red zone.
He continues to be pleased just with the growth that quarterback Dylan Raiola has made.
Felt like Dylan needed one more, just because we're in rhythm and we're still trying to work some things out, and so, his last drive he was feeling it pretty good, and it got him a 300-yard performance, which was important to me and him, and just because of how that game went, and so
yeah, there were 2 instances. We got inside the 5 on, it was first and goal on the 5, and we didn't score. So that's 2 weeks straight that we haven't punched the ball in the end zone, and that's unacceptable, and we'll make sure to get that fixed. But other than that, I thought we played a clean game. There was also, the defense got a turnover, and we went 3 and out. So if you take those 2 instances and clean it up, the outcome might be a little different. But at the end of the day, it's all part of learning, and guys are aware of it. So we're on high alert.
Also, a lot of talk here on Tuesday about the locker room video that got released following Nebraska's win over Akron, where Matt Rule really challenged his team and got after them.
What the message did was get the attention of the backups, the red team, the white team. I've never seen, second team, third team, and it wasn't just offense. It was special teams. It was defense that went out there and played to that standard. That was really cool to see. I've never seen that, and I think that message at that halftime got the attention of not only the starters to go out to, keep it right, but for everybody else to go out there. That's how you end up with a score like that, is when your red team and your white team go out there and execute at a high level.
Oh, we took it. That's our leader, and that's our guy that we trust and that we love and care for tremendously. So when the head of the snake says that, we respond and we take it seriously. And I think as we went out after half and we went back out there, defense got to stop and the offense went down and scored. So he just challenged us and we answered the call. And I think when you have those types of moments, it builds a lot of team character and when you have a coach that cares that much when you're up 33-0 at half, you got something special.
True freshman quarterback T.J. Lateef also continues to be a big topic of discussion.
Yeah, he's got a chance to be a really good player, I think, and so, he was always out there scrambling around, and you never know, are you really going to be able to do that? Is he going to tuck it and be able, I didn't know if he was going to be able to do that until it's live. I mean, we've never had him live here, so the lights were not too bright for him. I thought he did an excellent job with the communication. That's something that we constantly work on. That's what those GoPros are for, him in the huddle, what he says in the huddle. Obviously, he didn't have a GoPro on out there, but just what I could see, there wasn't any miscommunications. He did a good job of getting people lined up and on the same page, and then executed 2 good drives, and so that's encouraging to see. He does bring a different element to the game with his running abilities. Did a good job with decision making of putting the ball in play 6 or 7 times. Missed the one throw to Carter, which was disappointing, but for the most part, he did an excellent job.
We heard from a couple offensive linemen, including Rocco Spindler, who has transitioned nicely from Notre Dame.
Yeah, he's been flying by. I got here in February, and now we're going into week 3. It's blink of eye, it's going by fast, but it's been awesome. I really appreciate each and every opportunity and every snap that I've gotten, and just haven't looked back with it.
And then at left tackle, Gunnar Gatula has anchored down that starting position over guys like Turner Corcoran and Elijah Pritchett.
I'd say becoming like a student of a game and just like kind of understanding defenses more and assignments, and then also just physically maturing as well, like just getting older, stronger, things like that. So.
That said, Nebraska did create a new wrinkle with Corcoran, where he's been working as an additional blocking tight end.
Yeah, we get all the fellas together in the huddle and, the extra big guys and, just knock guys off the ball and, get back to the huddle and do it again. That's kind of our mindset and, get to see, older guys, younger guys, play at all those positions.
As for the defense, the play of the secondary continues to be the story as Nebraska has one of the top-ranked pass defenses in the country.
I think in the first 2 games, that group of players has played well together. We've played some man, we've played some zone, we've played some match defense. We've blitzed a little bit. So I think that, against Cincinnati, I thought they played very well. This past weekend. You saw Cincinnati this past weekend. I don't know what they threw for 65 against us, and then he went out and threw for 350 last weekend against whoever they played. And so obviously I think that that's one of the strengths of our group. Individually, I think we've got players that can play man-to-man, and then we've got enough guys with multiple skill sets to play some of the other concepts we're playing. So far, so good.
Another emerging storyline with the defense has been the play of freshman defensive lineman Cade Pedshock.
I think he's got great DNA when it comes to being a football player. I don't know if you guys know him at all, but he's got that look in his eye. He's got a little bit. I told the guys the other day, I coached 10 years in the NFL, and all the best defensive linemen I've ever been around had a little bit something off on about them, in a good way, meaning that they were there because they knew that was the toughest and most physical position that you're going to play in, and you're battling every Sunday. And then you look at Cade, and he has that look about him that he's going to play really hard, play very physical, play with a lot of passion. We wanted to play him a little bit more in the Cincinnati game, and did not. That's our fault. We should have played him more. But when he played this past weekend, he played to a level that we expect him to play and continue to get better, and I think he's going to help us. I think he'll be a steady member of that front moving forward.
Honestly, as a freshman, it's incredible. I was like, I get to go against a freshman, first day of camp, and I was like, wow. I was like, all right, this guy can play. And now he's taking the next step on each practice, each rep that he gets, and he's building off it. I'm proud to see that, and he's getting more opportunities too.
Man, I love that. I love him. He plays football the right way. He's a great body. He's young and he's just now learning, how different things. But he's just a fun player to watch. Like he gets after it. He's dominant. And he's going to be really good for the next couple of years for us.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the highlights of my season, because we've been working with Cade all season. In the D-line room, we had we call it the leash. Cade only had one move to use. I told TB to take him off the leash and let him play, and then he went out there and made plays. So I was really excited for him.
Then on special teams, Ja'Cory Barney's a guy that had more punt return yards this past game than the Huskers had all of last season.
Yes, sir. We mentioned it. I felt like we were blocking at a high level on punt return. I feel like I got to take one of those to the crib. So I expect more, and I expect to return more in the season. So, yeah.
And then finally, I think the biggest challenge now for Nebraska is getting up for an 11 a.m. game against an FCS opponent.
Yeah, well, first, like you said, we're playing at home, and when we play at home, no one comes in and bullies us around in our home field. And I mean, the team does. It doesn't matter if it's Houston Christian or if it's Michigan State. It's not us playing the team, but we're really playing against ourselves and our standard. And if you look at it from that standpoint, there's really no excuse for us not playing at a high level. And we set the bar last week, and we're trying to find ways to raise the bar and keep attacking and keep growing.
Man, I tell you, and again, I just think Coach Rule's doing an excellent job of keeping people's attention and constantly improving. Improving through practice. A week ago, I stood up here in front of you guys and I was irritated because I didn't feel like we had a very good practice. I didn't think it was very good. It got better on Wednesday, It got better on Thursday. The guys had some downtime Thursday, downtime Friday, downtime Saturday, and then they were ready to go. Okay, and so, today was better than last Tuesday. I thought today was a pretty good practice, so I think we have their attention. They were having a whole lot of fun last Saturday, and I think they're looking forward to getting out there and having a whole lot of fun this Saturday.
Huskers back at practice here on Wednesday. We'll hear from Matt Rule one more time Thursday. Reporting with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan.